Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own struggles, having borderline personality disorder, having complex post-traumatic stress disorder, having severe anxiety disorder and panic attacks, depression. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother. I talk about schizophrenia and growing up with my schizophrenic father, which I've written a whole book about, and it's in the links below with all my other books. I talk about my unethical psychologist that I also written books about that sexually exploited me and unfortunately took advantage of me. I talk about all the different types of therapies I've been in and a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. All I ask of you in return is your kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind to me. Please be kind to other people. Show respect. We don't have to agree on everything, but we always need to show each other respect and kindness. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Stick around, take a chance. Hit that little box in the lower right-hand corner that says subscribe. That way you will be notified every time a new video comes out. And it's 100% free. So go ahead, give it a thumbs up, like it, share it. With your family, your friends, on social media, and let's grow together. I love when people comment. Someone mentioned on the other video about my comments being turned off. I always have my comments on. I will never turn my comments off, okay? I love your comments. I am very excited to read your comments. I love when you share with me your personal struggles. I can learn from you. It's a growing friendship, and I welcome all comments as long as they're kind and respectful. Today's video is why you just can't get over your past trauma. Many people think that you should just, snap out of it, get over it, That was years and years ago. Focus on the now. All the spiritual practices, and everyone's advice is focus on the moment, leave the past in the rearview mirror. But these traumatic experiences had a profound and overwhelming and extreme intense effect on us. We can't just snap out of it, get over it. Time heals all wounds. No, it doesn't. And I'm going to discuss with you why we can't get over our past traumas. And the number one reason for that, at least for me, because it takes away our sense of safety and security. And, once bitten, twice shy. You ever hear of that? Once we lose our sense of safety, at least I'll talk about me. Once I lose my sense of safety and security, I can never go back to that place again. It's just like when someone cheated on you, right? Once someone cheats on you, you lose a sense of trust. You can never go back to the place you were before they cheated on you, when you had 100% trust in them. So it does affect the future, okay? You just can't get over it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's the same with trauma. If you've been severely traumatized, it will affect your future in every way. You cannot go back excuse me, to the place that you were in before you were traumatized, because now you don't feel safe and secure. I'll give you a perfect example from my own life. Everyone knows, if you've been watching my videos, I have an invalid son who has traumatic brain injury from a pneumococcal meningitis, a disease he got when he was 4 years old. He was in the hospital for 2 years. He almost died. He was in a coma. As a result of that disease, it was like brain cancer. It ate away a big chunk of his brain. he's an invalid. He can't take care of himself. He can't go to the bathroom by himself. He can't shower. He has no safety awareness. He cannot take care of himself. He needs 24-hour, care. And so I put him, he's 29 years old, he's 6'2", he has violent outbursts as a result. If you look up traumatic brain injury, one of the symptoms of it is violent outbursts. He's very dangerous. He can hurt himself. He can kill someone else. He's almost killed me, almost strangled me to death. Because he has, the impulse control in his brain is gone because of the disease. Just like if you have a tumor in the brain. I'm not going to get into the scientific and medical explanations about it. I'm just telling you that this is the way he is, so he can't live at home. It's not safe, and there's no way someone could watch him 24/7, and we're not equipped at home. So he's put in residential places like nursing homes. Think of it like a nursing home. If you have an elderly parent who can't take care of themselves, they can't wash themselves, they can't go to the bathroom by themselves, so you put them in a nursing home. Now, you trust that establishment. You looked it up, you researched it, you spent time, you talk to the people, you visit all the time, several times a week. It's not like you dumped the person there and then you left. And you trusted these people to take care of your loved one, all right? Then he was brutally beaten, black and blues all over. He was hospitalized. The police were called. We're still fighting the monster who beat him up in the court system now. And this was 3 years ago. And it's still in the court system. Now, do you think that I can ever trust another place again like that? Never. Never, ever, 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 ever. Why? Because of the profound and extreme trauma that I experienced that happened to my son. I lost all sense of trust in these establishments, just like with my therapist. I've been raped. Look at other videos. I've been raped by therapists. I've been sexually exploited by therapists. I've written book after book. I've done video after video about what happened to me. Do you think that I can go back and have the same trust and safety that I felt before the traumatic event happened? No, I can't. And never can I ever again. So that's the reason, that's the number one reason for me why I can never get over my past trauma, because I can never feel that feeling of safety ever again. And so I've had nightmares. It's affected my every day since my son was beaten and since I've been raped by my therapist. I've had nightmares. I turn into an alcoholic. I said this on my last video. I have severe panic attacks. I don't trust anyone. I have no friends because my faith in people is completely shattered. I've been shattered. I said this in other videos. What happened to my son has shattered me. All right. When he got sick as a 4-year-old boy, it shattered me. He was, he just had a cold. We brought him to the doctors. He was put on some antibiotics. The next day, he was in bed. His eyes rolled back in his head, and he was stiff as a board. I could not wake him up. I called 911, and then that was it. My life was practically over then. They said, your son lost a good chunk of his brain, and he'll never be the same ever again. And then they, it just was, that was the beginning of the end of my life. But life just got worse and worse and worse after that. And, these things you just can't snap out of them, like you had a bad day. You know what I mean? People don't understand unless they're affected by trauma. They just don't understand. Like, there's another reason why you can't get over trauma, past trauma, like from your childhood. Why haven't I gotten over the past trauma from my childhood? Because a lot of the times it's unresolved and unfinished business. You can't, your parent dies before you really talk it out what happened to you. I never talked it out with my mother, what she did to me. I never confronted her about it. I never talked it out with her. She died. I was going to therapy a few months before she died. So I just started therapy then. So it's unresolved. So how do you get over a past trauma if it's unresolved? If you can't talk it out with the person, that hurts you. Sometimes you can, and it can be resolved. Sometimes that all depends, right? Like if you were abused as a child, and you go to your parents as an adult and you say, this is how I felt as a child. You did this and this. And circumstances, not always, sometimes a parent can own up to what they did and it can be resolved. But what if, but if it isn't resolved and isn't before someone dies, then it's left unresolved, unfinished business. Unfinished business is very, very difficult to get over. It's very hard to get over that past trauma if it has never been resolved. Another thing is a lack of justice. And this is the biggest thing. One of the biggest things. Other than safety, you don't feel safe anymore. My safety has been taken away from me. That was the number one thing why I can't get past the trauma. My safety, I was robbed of my safety and security. I am no longer, I am hardened by life. I am hardened by what happened to me. Therefore, I don't feel any safety and security going forward in the future. I can no longer trust, like a person who was cheated on can no longer trust. So it dissolves the marriage. So you just can't get over it. People don't understand, have never been through such horrendous things like an illness, like deaths, like a rape, horrendous traumatic events like abuse, like the abuse I got from my mother. I did why I was happy my mother died. Go watch these old videos, catch up on why I can't get over my past traumas. Catch up on it, and you will see if you watch my older videos. Another big thing, aside from this, the not feeling safe and secure anymore, that was taken away from me, and the feeling of, unfinished business from the past, is a sense of injustice. Justice was never served. Okay? This is why another reason why I can't get over it. The creature, I don't want to call him a man, because obviously he beats up on handicapped people who can, who are defenseless. And this man was humongous. He was, 300 pounds, 280 pounds. He was, my son is very, very skinny. He might be tall, but this man was it's like putting him in the ring with a WWE, one of those wrestlers. My son didn't stand a chance against him. It's still, he's still out there. He's not behind bars. So he's still walking the streets. It's still in the court system. It's been dragged out for 3 friggin' years. All right? 3 friggin' years. I don't feel any friggin' justice. All right? That's another reason why I can't get over the trauma of what happened to my son. Because where's the justice? That creature is still walking the streets 3 years later, after bruising up my son, beating him up. It's just horrible. So if you don't get justice and Dr. Richard Geis, the psychologist who sexually abused me, that's been going on the same amount of time. That's still going on. That's still being investigated. Nothing's been resolved there either. So in both of those cases, justice has not prevailed. And that's a reason, someone once said that in the comments too, that, that's the reason I haven't gotten over it, because I have not got justice for it. This was, the video I said why if you look at the other videos, I talk about how my cousin came in and took advantage of my father and me when my father was dying of cancer. He stole money from him. He took advantage of him. He took advantage of me. I'm not going to get into that. But then I said I forgave him, and I felt like I got over that trauma. And someone said, you forgave him and got over the trauma of what your cousin did to you because you got justice. And he was right. My cousin got 10 years in a hardcore prison, Cedar Junction, Walpole prison, where only like hard criminals, people that murder people, people that rape people, he got 10 plus years in that prison. And it was when he was imprisoned that I could forgive him. Because why? Why could I forgive him then? Like the person, I don't know who, I forget who the person was, but the person said, you could have forgiveness for your cousin and you can't have forgiveness for these other people because you got justice. Justice was served for your cousin when he got a 10-year prison sentence. Justice was being served. So it was only then that it came full circle and I could forgive my cousin. But if there is no justice, then how can you get over what happened? If you don't feel, there's no resolution. There's no, see what I'm saying? There's no retribution. There's no, you feel like it just got whitewashed, It's not a very good feeling. So these are the reasons why I personally can't get over my past traumas. And I welcome your comments, your experiences. If you have gotten over past trauma, or if you haven't, either way, let me know. Let's talk about it. I love to hear from you guys. I always have the comments on. Remember that. I'll never shut the comments off. I can't help if YouTube. I have no restrictions on my comments, but YouTube does put restrictions. I know I have commented on other people's videos, and I put a link, and YouTube doesn't, I don't think they allow links in comments. So if you put a link to something, and it doesn't show up in the, it's probably because YouTube doesn't allow links in comments. Because I notice when I put a link on other videos, my comment doesn't show up. I don't know why that is, but I've noticed it for myself. So maybe it's something that you put in a comment that YouTube, restricted. That's all I can think of. Because as long as you're kind and respectful, there's no way I will restrict your comments. You don't have to agree with me. I want us to, be ourselves and be able to debate things healthy in a healthy way, right? All right. Until next time, you take care.